Sister Mary with Homesteading Haven, and today we are going to be fixing up our dinner, and I am bringing you along with us. What I'm going to be doing is we're going to be checking on this sauerkraut that we did a few days ago, and I just popped the top open and I tasted it, and I'm going to, of course you can't taste it, but I'm going to share with you what I've learned so far. I'm going to move everything where you can see me, see what we are doing. I've got more cabbage here. I'm down to this one head of cabbage left, and I need to do something with it. So thank you for joining me, and we are going to get started. All right, so I have cabbage already here. See how fine that is right there? That is some cabbage that I have taken this mandolin, and I've got a few heads or a little bit of cabbage already sliced up right here. And we'll get us some bigger pieces here in just a few minutes. Let's get us a chunk. I'm determined to use up this cabbage. Now, there are different blades and heads that you can put on this mandolin. But let me show you why it's worth getting one if you don't have one. And you can go to a Goodwill to get one. I'm sure that they are fairly reasonable. Now, some of you are seeing my little camp stove set up back here. I am in the back of the house. I'm not in the kitchen area. It's well above 80 degrees today here in Tennessee, and we are off-grid for those of you who do not know, so this is just another option. I have large ceilings, and I'm actually in it would be like a bay door opens, so a garage area in the back of your home. So there's plenty of ventilation. We're not in any kind of risk of any damage. And I have a fan that is blowing next to me. All right, so do you see that cabbage right there? Well, I'm not going to keep boring you with just that right there. I'm going to get me a sandwich bag, or should I say a gallon-sized bag. And I'm going to go ahead and put some of this away, because this right here, this is going to be coleslaw. Do you see how thin that is? But I was just going to show you that when you have a head of cabbage, there are several things that you can be doing with it. And I know a lot of times you just want to use what you want to out of it, off of it, and then you end up putting it back in the refrigerator, and sometimes things go bad because you don't use it quick enough. So here's our little coleslaw bag. It's already going to be pre-prepped, and I'll add some carrots and whatever to that later on. All right. So I'm going to tell you what's going on here in just a minute. We're going to get this cabbage out of the way. So what I've been doing is burping the lid. And I don't know if this is called Fido or Fido, but I thought maybe my cabbage was not going to turn out good because I had watched more videos and I had seen the brine already raised up to here. And you can do that with the water and add your salt. But a few minutes ago, I had popped the top open. Let me do that for you. I took a piece out. It's good. And it's only been 3 days. All right. Now, I have been keeping the lid on and just burping it. But what will make me feel better? See, I was ready to throw this to the chickens. I was thinking this isn't going to be very good. So this is going to make me feel better. I've got a few big pieces of cabbage leaf right here. And what I want to do, because that brine is coming up, it is working. I'll tell you what else I want to do. You remember this little tool right here? I want to pack it down a little bit more. I'm going to show you the difference in just a minute. I believe that brine came up. And because I am having to burp the jar every day, and some people are going to say, oh, Sister Mary, you let air to it. Well, I'm just going to take my chance. Remember, this is the first time that I have fermented any cabbage, but I don't want to ever not eat something that I have showed you how to prepare, because some people that are on YouTube, you know, some of them, what does everybody do? You just find a recipe. Now I've let quite a bit of air in there. I put that cabbage leaf on top. And you can see, look at the juice. Can you see the juice right there? It is making its own brine. But I had seen other videos where the brine was already up to here. Now this is a different kind of jar. Remember I told you about that being on Amazon. So here's the other one. And see, the brine is just right in here. So I'm going to do it as quick as I can. I've already burped them. Well, that one, you hear how the air did it again. I'm going to go ahead and press this down. But I saw some people on their fermenting videos, and I'm going to tell you, they were crushing and mashing that with their hands, and there was already juice in it before they even put it in their jars. I'm going to take one of these heavier cabbage lid pieces, and I'm going to try to stuff it down in there. Remember, this is like a 3-week process, and I have seen different videos where if you'll go ahead and make your own fermenting brine, you can go ahead and put it on that, and it will speed up the process. Now look at that. Now every time I burp it, I'm not going to be concerned about any air, because I'm not going to eat that top piece. But I'll tell you what, I was about to throw it out, and I just went ahead and tasted it, and it tasted good, and it's only been 3 days. So there you have it. Now look, the leaf is holding back my brine, but I just wanted to, in case somebody fixed this, you can see the juices in here. I don't know if you can see it too good or not, because the lighting's not that great in here. So that makes me feel better. We can get this out of the way and we can get to cooking. I'm going to put these back in my bowls and move them over. Let's just go ahead and get to cooking this evening. So what I'm going to be doing is some beans and cornbread, and also I am going to do some cabbage. Now, let's see how fast we can get this done. I'm going to switch it around. Look at here. Not very many modern, I mean, yeah, it's modern conveniences, but not like what we're used to before when we're not living this way. I have to take a different strike than my Matchbox because it wasn't working for me. So I don't know if you know anything about these little Coleman stoves, but you know, they used to be pretty reasonable before everything started going up in price. We got one going. Let's get this other one. I gotta put that match somewhere. I'm gonna put it in my bowl. Thank you guys for being patient. We will learn to get better, right? Or Sister Mary will anyway. I'll get better on this, doing our cooking with you. You know, I have favorite YouTube channels that I watch, and I wouldn't care what they were doing. Well, now did y'all see that? I sit there and blew it out. All right, we're going to get this in a minute. You know, it's me just trying to be careful. There we go. All right, we're going to start cooking. What's for dinner, Sister Mary? Let me go ahead and turn this one down because we don't need our fire up that big. I'm going to go ahead and put this pan back on. because that is the one. Look at these little bottles that are at the Dollar Tree. $1.25. They say oil vinegar, so I got 3 because I can put a apple cider vinegar and then regular vinegar, and then this is olive oil that I'm using, but I'm going to go ahead and put that in my pan because that's going to be my cabbage pan. And you know how fast cabbage starts to cook up, and now that I know that our kraut's good, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and put this over here too. I wasn't going to start both at the same time, but this is the way we roll, or this is the way I roll. Let's just go ahead and get in there. Some people I know have watched me, that know me, watch me cook in the past, and they'll be like, I don't know how you get everything going at the same time. Well, because I had an aunt when I was growing up, and she wouldn't do things real fast, and so it took you hours. You knew that if you were invited to her house, it was going to be hours before you actually got to eat anything. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get my knife here, and I'm just going to start chopping me up some pieces. It doesn't matter what size because all of this is going to cook down. I asked Brother John earlier if he wanted any soup, and he said no. But he loves fried cabbage. Well, let's not say love. We love the Lord, and we love people, but we don't love things, and we definitely don't want to love food because they don't love us back. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and start to put that cabbage in. Cabbage is one of those items that you can grow it, my goodness, there's so many things. Now that we know that we can ferment it, we know that it can go in different recipes. The other night I took some romaine noodles, if that's what you call it, and I boiled and fixed those noodles. And in a different pan I had some cabbage going and some mushroom going. And I put some sauce in there, some soy sauce. And I think I took some green onion out. And I went ahead and threw that green onion in there. I know what y'all are thinking. Sister Mary, your pan's getting hot for the cornbread. It is. Look here. I don't want that dark piece. Throw that dark piece out. So when we're chopping that, we ain't got to worry about what size it is. It's all good in the neighborhood. It's all good. Now, we're southern around here. So I'm going to sit here, I'm going to cheat, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. We're having beans and cabbage and cornbread, but the beans and the cabbage and the onion are going to cook in the same pan, but I'm not adding the beans until the last minute because it's an Aldi's can of pinto beans. Yep. Even I look for time savers. But this will be a 1 bowl. And then, of course, you have your cornbread on the side. All right, I'm just going to stop with that right there because we don't want to fill up so much that we can't get it in there. Because we're going to be adding our beans. And you know how fast cabbage cooks? We're going to turn this eye down a little bit, and we're going to turn this one down a hair because we got some other things that we need to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and take me a towel and lay over this right here. I don't want anything on my food. And we're going to get down to making some cornbread, some hoe cakes. All right, we have a bowl. We've got our buttermilk, little cornmeal here. There is no measuring around here. But I'm sure, depending on the size family you got, 2 cups is more than enough. But a cup and a half. If it's just you, start with a half a cup. But there's no measuring. And we like these little cornbread patties. So there we go. Our cornmeal is in. Let me scoot you back a hair. We've got our cornmeal. Y'all know what I forgot? Is an egg. But I'm not going to run up there because I'm not in the kitchen area, which I could run and get one. But This is also at the Dollar Tree, $1.25 now. I keep these little ones because we are off-grid and I don't have a huge refrigerator. But I've got my cornmeal and I've got the milk. And you can use whatever fat, whatever oil you want to. I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little bit because I've already got a little bit in my skillet. But if you've got shortening, whatever you've got, whatever fat you got, throw it in there. And I am going to run and get that egg. All right, guys, I'm back. I ran, I hurried. All right. Many of you already know this, but this is a chicken egg. I ain't taking no chances. So I'm gonna pop it, crack it. Looks like a good egg to me. Now we smell it. That's a good egg. Always do that with your farm chickens because you don't know. You just don't know. And we don't want any problems. I got to get my onion in here pretty quick, but if I don't get my cornbread patty starting to cook, we're going to be in some trouble. All right, so we have an egg, we have our cornmeal, we have a little milk, we have some oil. That's it. Mix it up. My mother, there were plenty of us to feed, so what she would do is she would do 2 cups of cornmeal, 1 cup of flour, milk, a little water to extend it, and then a couple of eggs. There were 5 of us girls. And of course, a mother or a father. And you keep mixing your liquid till you get the consistency that you want. I know what Brother John's going to say, this ain't enough. I didn't fix enough. You know what you don't use of these little milk containers? You just put it in the refrigerator, but I like the Dollar Tree milk because it is stable on your shelf. You don't have to refrigerate it until you use it. And then you need to use it up within, a day or so. Or that's what we do. Brother John and I don't drink a lot of milk because we're older. We are not growing anymore. Is that a funny? There you go. That's about the consistency that you want it. Guys, when you learn to make, and I've not mastered the skill of making a biscuit, but when you learn to do cornbread, when I was at home as a young person, and yes, I was 12 years old making a pan of cornbread and a gallon of tea. That was my job, to have that done before my mother got home. So I did what I was supposed to do. Every day before she got home, I made sure that everybody had done their chores and I had finished mine. Every night we were taught to get our clothes out before we went to bed. I was looking for my knife, but I found it. All right, I want to put a little bit of onion in here. And I know you're probably not with me anymore. but this is what I'm doing. One day I'll get better at making these videos and I won't be so all over the place. I don't know about y'all, but I hate wasting that part of the onion. I'm like, no, just give me the peeling. Let me get that off of it, and then we'll be good. I don't know what it is about peeling an onion, but I enjoy it. I love that an onion, it don't go bad until it just gets too mushy that you can't use it. All right, looks pretty good to me. Have y'all ever had friends that would take a bite out of an onion? Well, I'm not that friend, but I've been around some people who would do it. Y'all see how fast that's fixing up? Again, I'm just over here cutting on this onion. I don't care what size, because we like the onion. But I do that onion because it'll give it some flavor. It actually gives it a really nice flavor. And I'll save this part to chop up when Brother John eats. And when I eat, we'll just slice it and eat it. And we're going to get this cooking. Our onion is going to caramelize. I always say I wish we had smell-o-vision, but it's smelling good. The neighbors are going to come knocking in a minute. All right, I'm going to turn my fire back up on my little cornbread patties. There's our cabbage and our onion. You just got to have a plan. I don't know if my mom used to plan through the week. You know, some moms do plan their weeks out, what they're going to be having. But I don't plan. Now, used to when I was, had my children at home, yeah, I had some idea. I had my idea for dinner even before I left for work every morning, because I needed to know. Because we didn't get home till after 6 o'clock in the evening. And I needed everybody going to the showers. At least around, I'm going to let that start to bubble up before I flip it. Anyways, routine when you're a mama. That's what solves all your problems. Not being consistent and not having a routine. So get a routine. And the younger your children are, the more they should be on a routine. Especially, well, let me just share this. If you've got children anywhere between 3rd and 4th grade and below, get them on a schedule. They need to be in the bed by a certain time. Younger ones earlier than the older ones. And then once your children start getting up into middle school and high school, have them set their own schedules with reasonable, limitations, of course. But allow them to make their decisions. I didn't know if that'd be ready to flip or not, but we're going to go ahead and flip it. Can you see that? I like the iron skillet better. But I was thinking I'm not going to bring the whole kitchen back here just to cook, but we're going to cook. And I didn't want to have to start the wood stove or the cook stove. It's a Great Majestic, but fall, cooler temperatures are coming, and we'll be able to do that more often. That will be fun. Guys, I'm losing some of my cabbage. I'm not going to stick my finger down in there. It'll just sit there. I want that to cook down a little bit more before I add the beans. I'm so glad that the kraut is still good. I was really concerned. And I thought, well, it's not wisdom to just throw it out. It's only been 3 days. Go ahead and pop the top and expose it to the air and take a taste. It was really good. You know, some people said you'll never go back to buying it store-bought once you know how to ferment it yourself. And I think they are telling the truth. And I don't want it too mushy. And I'm talking about the fermenting cabbage over there. It was still crunchy. I like that. Yeah, in these pans, you don't get that good crust that you do when it's in an iron skillet. But we'll just have to be good for this for right now. Not everybody cooks with iron skillets anyway. It's all about using what you got. And you know what? That is cooking up fairly well. So what I'm doing, I'm moving everything over. I was going to mix it all, but I'm not. I'm going to let that cabbage keep cooking. I'm going to go ahead and add this can of beans to the side. And that juice isn't going to hurt nothing, because it's all going to go in one bowl. Yep, Sister Mary's making dinner easy. Hey, but there was some effort, right? I had to put it together. Look how fast that was. And I'm going to put a little pepper, because we like pepper. Just going to put a little pepper. And that's it. That's it. That's our beans, our cabbage, and I don't think I have any more sliced tomatoes, but I got some cherry tomatoes. We can put that to the side. We got some pickle relish that we can eat with that. We've got some chow chow we can eat with that. There's our cornbread patties, and that's it, guys. That's it. That's all she wrote today. We got cornbread ready. Our beans are going to be warmed up in just a minute. Cabbage is already ready. I'm going to put lids over this, and when Brother John gets ready to eat, we're ready. There's your Southern meal. Thank you for joining me today in the kitchen with Sister Mary. You've been watching Homesteading Haven. Remember to like, subscribe, share with friends. That's how our community grows here on YouTube. I also want to remind everybody that when you believe in the Lord Jesus, greater is He that is in you than he, Satan, that is in this world. You are the victor. You are the head, not the tail. No weapon formed against you prospers in the mighty name of Jesus. He is always with us, never will leave us, never will forsake us. So God bless you. Until next time, everybody, enjoy. I got to get it scooted. It's not letting me turn it off, but here we go. We're going to turn off.